Hey, welcome to Non-Perishable Goods Podcast. Da, 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 da. It's Wednesday. Oh, wow. That was kind of like the Trump parade a little bit. But hi everyone. Thank you for joining us today. As usual, there's a lot going on in the world, and we are going to be talking about a lot of things today. A lot of things that have to do with protests, and we'll just kind of see where it goes. But this past weekend was the 250th birthday of the U.S. Army, which also was Trump's birthday. And so
Yay!
our country celebrated both events, and it was
In
slightly,
Washington, D.C.
yeah, oh yeah, Washington D.C., and it was slightly controversial because people were, this is really the first time that we've had a military parade that somewhat celebrated our president. Like, we've had military parades before, which is great. Like, I think it's awesome that we honor our military. Um, and I actually watched it. Did you watch it? Did you watch the military parade?
No.
Yeah, I watched the replay back on YouTube, and I'm actually kind of glad that I did that because the what I saw like online, all the clips from his parade, like they were clowning it. They were like clowning it, saying like the people were walking, like it wasn't impressive. I guess that was the overall theme that I saw in my world. Like people were making fun of it, but I watched it and I mean, it wasn't like some of the military parades that I've seen, like maybe in North Korea, where they're very like in sync and in very uniformed in their, marching and salutes and delivery and but it wasn't far off from other military parades like in other countries. So I thought it was pretty decent. I thought it was good.
Yeah,
I didn't.
anybody who makes fun of it just has TDS.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a lot of people don't like him, and that's why on June 14th there were also a lot of protests in our nation, the No King's Day parades or protests that were going on that morning. And but I do want to be fair, like it wasn't that bad. Like the his birthday wasn't that bad. Like I thought it definitely gave honor to our military and I'm just so grateful that like God really just made people differently, you know? Because there's no way that I'm just not the person who would want to serve in the military. I don't know. It's just not in me. But I know there's people that it's for, and I like salute them, and I think they are straight up soldiers. You know what I mean? Like it's just we're all made differently, and I just really want to just take time to like honor our military, especially, how we may be going to war pretty soon. Hope not, praying that we don't. Um, so yeah, so I don't know. I just thought that was pretty. I just wanted to make a point about that. That it wasn't that bad, and that's why sometimes you can't just believe what you see online in clips. Like you should don't just see the headlines. Like actually dig into it. Watch the full broadcast of.
But that's only if you are intelligent and use your brain for things. Other people who just hate Trump aren't don't they don't care. They're not going to care.
Yeah, but not just that. I mean, just in the way that social media is today, everybody just looks at a meme or reads the headline. Like they don't even read the
Yeah, I said
article.
I said if you have a brain,
Yeah. But I mean, just that's not just things that are focused on Trump. It's just everything. Like everybody does that, So, but I hear what you're saying. You're being funny. Blah 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 blah. You're standing up for your boy. Your boy.
That's my boy.
I mean, you're
I'm standing up for common sense. I'm not standing up for anybody. I'm standing up for common sense.
but that's you guys can't it's not okay, you guys. You can't really I mean, standing up for Trump. No, okay, I mean in that context, yes, I guess it is
I'm
common.
saying like for that situation, like okay, it's his birthday. Like I don't care. Like for the military though, to say like nobody showed up, blah blah blah, and then like somebody else showed a picture of like hello people there. It's like if I had TDS, I probably would still go for the first one. Like nobody showed up,
Okay,
and
but
then that would be a joke.
right, right,
That's
right.
the joke.
Yeah. No, I hear you. But I will have to say there weren't that many people there. And I guess they were expecting like 200,000 people, but a lot of people RSVP'd, but were like doing fake. Did you hear about that? They like were doing fake RSVPs with like fake names and all this stuff. So they expected a lot of people, um, but it didn't look like there was 200,000 people there. I think they were saying it was like 8,600 people total.
Yeah, there. I know, like there were people. I don't know. I don't believe what people say because there's hateful people and then there's people who are so pro that they'll do whatever they can to make him look good or
Right.
make that day look good. So I just
Yeah.
take it with a grain of salt. If you showed up, cool. I'm happy. I'm more concerned or not concerned, but I'm more thinking about the military because my dad served. I did
Mhm.
want to serve. My uncle served.
That's
You know,
awesome.
and they we were able to have a cool life because of of the military.
Yeah, the service that you
And if
gave
it
to.
wasn't for the military, I wouldn't be born because my dad would have never went overseas and had the two blazing babies.
Right. Yeah, like there's so many like benefits of the military. If I was made like that, I mean, you get to travel the world, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
get to meet different people. Get it's just
have
experiencing stuff. They'll what's that?
camaraderie with others from all over the nation,
Yeah,
all over the world.
and then you get like discipline too. You know what I mean? As especially when you're young and wild and or don't know what direction you want to go to in life. I think the military can really helps a lot of people find their way,
Yeah.
and they help you too. You know what I mean?
Right. And not to get too personal, or if you want to just speak in generalizations, like when your family or uncles or whatever got out of the military, did the state or the country take care of them? Like through the VA, the
Yeah,
Veterans
they
Home?
did. Well, not the VA, but just like retirement and because
Did
they
they
because most of them, if not all of them, retired from
in the military?
their military factions. Uh, so they did pretty. They're
So so our country
okay.
delivered on like the GI Bill, like gave
Yeah,
them. Oh, that's good. That's
even like
good.
my friends who went in, well, people I know, that I'm cool with, they're all doing fine. They all went to school. They got kids now. The whole family, whole shebang. You know what I'm saying? Like all because of the military. If it
Because
wasn't for the military,
it sets them up,
they
right? Like
they
it
would have.
really,
Yeah, but I'm yes, yeah, I think so.
that's good. That's
I'm not
good.
saying that um everybody should go into the military, but for me, in my opinion, and what I brought up last time in the last show, like I do believe like a lot of for men, especially if you feel lost and you're healthy, you're just a regular guy, I think the military is a
Yeah.
good option to go into.
No, I'm just glad to hear that because right now there's so many instances where you're hearing they're cutting funding for veterans and so many veterans are struggling or homeless or whatever. So
Yeah, but
like,
those guys are also were all well, I don't know each and every one of their stories, but there's like some of them got discharged early, some of them are on drugs.
Mhm.
There some of them are alcoholics.
Like suffering. Hmm.
Like I know a person who works at a Veterans Affairs, and they have all these beds ready for these veterans to go in, but they choose not to. They rather live on the street because of the freedom. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you live in the quarters that the Veteran Affairs gives you have to obey the rules and there's rules, which are placed for them. But these are grown adults who just don't want to do that. So you only could do so much.
Right, right.
It's funny
Yeah.
because they always go back for the medical stuff and everything because it's free. But it's like, what's the point if you're just gonna go back on the street and do drugs and shit, or
Hmm.
drink all beer and shit
Right.
and get
Hey,
drunk?
well, this sounds like a episode that we should do and look into further. Because I just want to make, I feel like if people serve and go to war for our country and protect for our freedoms, that they should be completely taken care of, you know?
Yeah, I think there's some instances. I mean, I haven't seen anybody who like got in combat who didn't get taken care of. So yeah, I do. That would be kind of. Cause what am I trying to say? Everybody I know is just benefited, but they also came out healthy. Whatever they all retired, or if they weren't able to do combat, they were able to do something in the military in order for them to retire and retire uh, with uh,
Mhm.
financial support. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so I don't. The ones that complain or say they didn't get their GI Bill or whatever, or got their retirement cut. I don't know. That's sometimes, like, there's it's an individual stories. They're not telling you everything because they want sympathy. So it's not. I'm not saying it's not true, but there's like something there
Yeah.
that you didn't do. You forgot to sign papers. Something and then you're angry about it. That things didn't go your way, and
But it kind
so
of
you just
sounds
make a
like maybe it's
big
like
stinker
a,
about it.
yeah, maybe it's like an immigration system issue. Like, because like my whole life I've been hearing about our veterans haven't been getting taken care of in some situations. So I don't know. Maybe it's something certain people in the, I don't know which party, but uses it for some kind of like political power, like some kind of so I don't know. Like I said, that's something I want to look into on future episodes for sure, you know? So maybe we do have a broken VA system and we have a broken immigration system. Like there's a lot of things in America that are broken and we need to fix them. And I think that's why a lot of people were out protesting this weekend. Also, the No Kings protest.
You mean last weekend?
Yeah, last weekend, sorry. And it was,
So you could tell the future.
well, there's probably going to be many more.
I was gonna say watch them pop off this weekend.
Okay. No, but there's a lot of organizations that are coming together. So, on the grassroots level and just have all these strategies. And like this past weekend, the No King's Day protest was very successful. It was very successful. And I don't know. Like our country is going through so much right now, but to see people coming together to protest for change, I think it's awesome because it was like 5 million people plus across the nation that came out, and it was peaceful. And they say peaceful protests are very effective. So,
Who's they and how?
Um, I mean, okay, so there's this lady, her name was Chenoweth. That's her last name. and she has done research with some other lady named Maria, and they basically said that if you get 3.5% of the population out consistently to protest peacefully, then you're more likely to get long-term change for whatever
But
you're protesting.
how does that work though? Because the organizations that you are protesting against have to see it, right?
What do you mean?
Whatever you're protesting against, the people that you're protesting against have to see it, the protest,
Hmm.
no? Or right?
Well, I mean,
Is that where the change come from, or just like
yeah,
or did those people actually go to the opposition and talk to them because the opposition didn't see the protest because they can care less about the protest?
right. But the No King's Day March, people knew about that nationally, and people saw all those people out in the streets and around the entire nation, from the major cities to small communities.
Does it
And
matter that Trump said he wasn't the king? It
um,
doesn't matter. Once you
well,
got TVS, it's a
well,
wrap.
no, but it's all about his actions. Because, like, he could say whatever he wants, but his actions are very king-like, are very autocratic, are very anti-democratic. So he is making it seem like he's a king. And just from his policies, just from not valuing our Constitution. And that's why people went out into the streets, because he is not he is not doing what we know to be American values. Like, everything he's doing is against our laws and our Constitution. So that's why people were out in the streets against him.
But he knows that he can't do certain things without the court. He said that he's brought that up before. He
Right, but
knows
he's
so
still
to
doing
say,
it.
but to say that he knows that he's not a king.
Right. But him continuing to put out executive orders, trying to override, like, he's trying to centralize all the power into the executive branch. Like, he's already not listening, like, to some of the court orders. They haven't I can't think of which ones, but he also is using, or he what do you call it? He called in the National Guard without getting the approval of the California governor, Gavin Newsom. That he wasn't supposed to do that. So that's another huge reason why people were out in the streets, because he militarized our state, National Guard, and sent in the military on people. And it wasn't even
Or
like,
the Marines.
yeah, there was no violence. It wasn't necessary to do that. The mayor of LA, Karen Bass, said
It
that
wasn't necessary to do what?
to send in the National Guard and the Marines without approval from Gavin Newsom.
But isn't there like another like executive order where if the president sees that it is needed, that he can go over the governor? Because obviously there is, because he did it, right?
No, but that's illegal. What he did was illegal.
I mean, they're
That's
going to court
he
anyway, right?
didn't, but he didn't invoke the Insurrection Act. I believe that's what it is, where if there is an insurrection, he can do what he did, but there was no insurrection. Everybody said that everything was handled in Los Angeles. There was no need for him to do that. So that's why what he did
But
was
who's everybody in?
that's why what
And
he did was
I don't know,
illegal. And that's why Gavin Newsom sued him. And that's why he's going
sued or
to,
is suing.
huh?
He is suing or he sued him. He sued him already.
Well, he filed the proceedings, or however that works. Yes, he already submitted
Yeah.
that. I don't know where it's at this moment, but and that's what Trump is doing. Like, he's doing all these things overriding the judicial branch, overriding Congress. Like even with the Iran and Israel war, he's overriding like you have to have congressional approval to go to war. Like how are you already posting on Twitter like, "Oh, we talking about him in Israel or about the we secured the airspace in over Iran and blah blah blah." Like you can't do that. You have to have congressional approval to go to war, to declare war on anybody. So he's doing things that are king-like. And that's why people are protesting and they don't want him to do this.
Yeah, even Republicans don't want him to go to war.
Right. And that's now when you
Even
have
some Republicans.
right. Like the other day, I was like, wait a minute, how am I agreeing with MAGA right now? Like it was Marjorie Taylor Greene, it was Tucker Carlson. I even saw Candace Owens today. Like all the people who believe in America first, which Trump campaigned on, he had his people believing that we weren't going to involve ourselves in any more wars. And this guy is basically has not ended any wars anywhere as he also campaigned on, which isn't necessarily his fault, with the Ukraine and Russia war. Like, oh, isn't that on day one? Not, didn't happen. And now you're gonna get us involved in another war? Like, what?
Well, I like the idea you said off camera. I thought that was a because it's personal.
Yeah, like he's definitely, and that's the problem. That's
Like the
self-interest.
conspiracy is the failed attempts on his life was orchestrated by Iran.
Yeah, and that's what Trump has said with his own lips and putting it out into the world that that's happened. And that's what Netanyahu has told Trump as well that,
But he said it on what? He said it on Andrew So's
yeah, on
podcast, like you said.
yeah, it's not the bastards ones. It was I can't remember what it was called.
It was like a one-on-one, right?
Yeah. Well, it was him
Or they
with
were they all there?
yeah, all the guys were there.
Yep.
The guy with the dreads and then the other
Yeah.
white boy. Um, so he said it. He believes that he said if anybody comes after him, it's gonna be, total chaos, like basically what he's saying now. So he's going against what his base voted for, and that's because he's protecting himself, I believe. I mean, that's just more in line with his character and what he's done in the past, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he has an ego, right? So,
Yeah, he's all about self-preservation, and that's king-like. Because I mean, a king, and then he has nepotism going on, and he's trying to keep his family. And well, we'll see. I don't want to speak on that, but there's a lot
so
of
if Biden exonerates his son, and he does all these things because he can, is he king like?
that was just one instance where he did something that, well, I don't know if that's one instance, but that it's not like 100 or like at least 50.
Because the amount matters, right? If in order for you to be considered like a king, if you start doing a bunch of things, not just one thing, but it's
But I
like a bunch of
mean,
things.
but that's not against our Constitution to give a pardon. I mean, yes, it's to his son, but every president has the right to pardon. That's the executive power. And they're controversial, you know.
But but Trump doing what he did wasn't uh as a president he wasn't allowed to do that stuff.
He can, it's not ethical, but the things that he's done against the Constitution is not right. It's not, it's king-like. So, yeah. Like just about everything he's doing is trying to centralize power in the executive branch, and that's why they're calling him an autocrat. Or he's slowly transforming America into an authoritarian government, you know? Like even they were saying that we're not even a full democracy anymore. We're like a flawed democracy. And that's just like mind blowing to me. Because I guess and there's a lot of countries in the world, like most countries are authoritarian. And there's like a lot of like mixed, there's like some authoritarian and then there's some democratic governments and then there's, full governments that are democratic. But most places are autocratic. And Trump, he's just trying to, I mean, all his pals, Putin, well, I don't. Well, actually, a lot of his friends are kind of changing right now, especially if he sides with this war with Israel. But a lot of those people are autocrats, and he admires that. He wants to be that. So, and just because he says he's not a king, his actions show that he is. So,
Okay.
so I don't know. That's it. That's all. Show's over, everybody. We're done.
All right, see you guys later.
Our quickest show ever. But so yeah, like it's pretty deep right now. Like I don't know what's gonna happen. Like even this next week, by the next week show, like we'll either be at war or we won't. Because like the last thing I heard today was that he has a authority or has approval to go to war, and they're supposed to strike Iran this weekend. So we'll see. I don't even know. This pod might be over with. We might all be nuclear bombed. Like this is crazy. This is like really crazy times that we're living in. And that's why people are protesting this man because like somebody had a great sign. They were like, if Kamala was president right now, we would be at brunch. And it's so true. Like this man has caused so much unnecessary chaos. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I understand you guys don't want taxes. I understand people don't want what is it, trans, they don't want diversity, equity, and inclusion. Okay, all right, cool. But now you guys, we have way more issues upon us that are really going to be altering lives. Like we may be up to war. This man may have caused World War III.
But he had nothing to do with the Iran and the Israel attacks, though. That was between those two.
Say it again. I mean, he no, he could have just took a stance and sided with Iran. I mean, I understand that Israel is our ally. Like that's our ally, but when this man Netanyahu is out here having genocides and offing people,
Right.
like if he was a moral man, if Trump was a moral man, he could have been like, no, I don't want to go to war with you, Netanyahu, you know? And he tried to get Iran to come to the table and do another deal with this new, letting go of his nuclear uh I guess uranium or whatever they use to make a nuclear bomb. And but the crazy thing is, Netanyahu for 30 years has been saying, "Oh, Iran, they're gonna have a nuclear bomb in a couple weeks." Like he's been saying that since the 90s. And we're now in 2025 and he's still saying that. So it's kind of like to me, I'm like, wow, this is propaganda. Wow, this is what happened with the weapons of mass destruction when Bush was in office. Like that, like with the what war was that? The Iraqi war? When they lied to us? Like it's known, like this isn't conspiracy. Like it's known that they lied to us about weapons of mass destruction, and that's why we went to that war. So it's like the
Mm.
same plays, like the Republicans are running the same plays. Because there's people in the I think our Congress, like the Hawks, or they call them, they are neocons. They get Man, all the insider trading, like I feel like they get money and they get paid. Their people get paid off of war. So they like going to war.
Yeah, look at all the houses that were built in, was it Iraq or Iran or Afghanistan with what's his God, I forgot his name.
Who?
Anyway, some guy in politics, like they used his construction company to
See?
build houses over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Like they get paid. Like
I
this
think it
is
was at Afghanistan because that's when because Biden pulled out all the soldiers.
hmm
Yeah, so whatever. Like,
Yeah. And that's what
God,
they
what is
call
that dude's name? He
it's
shot somebody.
John
Yeah,
McCain? John McCain?
not McCain.
Oh, okay. I was to say he got shot. And he shot
No, but
somebody
this guy shot somebody
on accident.
when he was hunting. Yeah,
Yeah, that's John McCain. That was McCain.
not McCain. McCain got shot.
Mm-mm. He also accidentally shot somebody on a hunting trip.
Bro, but it wasn't. I don't think it was
But
McCain
no,
though.
I think he does has like all those guys, all those
Ah,
like a lot of those Bush era guys, they have that was the cronyism in our government. You know, they
the
had
cronyism.
yeah, that's what they call it. Like there's nepotism, cronyism, where they help out their friends. You know, they get the contracts. And that even Trump, he even mentioned that in Gaza that he was ready to build out there. You know, but the crazy thing is to me too is that Trump just had, well, I guess it was the UAE, but he's really tight with Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia is backing Iran. Like they already have the people who are all like allies in this World War III that may be upon us. And Saudi Arabia is on Iran's side, so it's like Trump has close ties to MBS, the leader of Saudi Arabia. So it's like Trump, what are you doing? Like he's really going against all his homies just to side with Netanyahu, who he was like kind of beefing with earlier because of whatever they were going through. But I really think Trump is all in on this because he feels that Iran may be trying to assassinate him, you know?
Well,
So,
hopefully he doesn't. I think this is like really serious. Obviously, this is serious. So that's why they're in a situation room right now. That's you know,
right. And then to be in the situation room with a bunch of goofies, like who's going to make a good decision? And people can't even tell him, they have to, what do they like? They placate him. I don't know if that's the right word, but they basically,
but don't
they just let him do whatever he wants to
yeah,
do.
but don't you think they're not doing that right now because if they did, then this decision would have been made faster.
Well, I know his director of intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, she told him uh, Iran doesn't have weapons of mass destruction. She said that at a hearing, and he's like, "Oh, well, I don't care what she says." That he said that on the plane yesterday. So he's not listening to his intelligence director. You know what I mean? Like this is really scary times, and that's why it's so important to elect people who are competent, elect people who have morals and ethics and who aren't for themselves because he's about to cause World War III just because he doesn't want to get clipped.
Well, I think they're uh I was gonna say apprehending him, but I think they're doing their best
I
to
hope
not
so.
make him do this because if they did it, if they
It's
didn't, he would have done something already.
But all those tweets that he's been putting out where he's basically aligning himself with Israel is just ridiculous. Like it's like, why are you tweeting this? Why are you tweeting plays? Like just relax. Go just shut up.
I think it feels like he's doing that to not make it look like he wants like revenge. Because
But his whole
I do,
MO is retribution. His whole MO is vengeance.
I know, but not for the conspiracy theory that Iran was trying to take him out. Like he's doing like like theoretical stuff on his true social.
Yeah.
Because
What
but
what
he's not saying like I'm going after Iran because they went after me. Like he's setting up other reasons via True Social. But I am hoping that we don't. I really don't think nothing's going to happen, and it's just going to be between Iran and Israel, and I hope they work that out because they're just doing drone stuff. Like it's a drone war right now. It's like video. It's like a video game out there.
Dude, like the videos I saw, like I'll just say that that Iron Dome that Israel has, it definitely intercepted a lot of missiles.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw that, but it reminded me of a video game, not asteroids.
Oh, kind of asteroids because they were
Is it
just like,
asteroids?
yeah,
Not
where
no,
they
but
were.
it's like there's a game. I think it's called Missile Line or something, where
Mhm.
like missiles come down and you have to like intercept all the ones before they hit the
Hit
ground.
that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, hit
Uh,
that. Yeah, hit that.
yeah, no, but that's what it looked like, and I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that
I
on
ran
over
through
the.
like 200 missiles and some got through, which is kind of
Yeah,
interesting. Like it's like, okay, is it working? But what's crazy is that the Iron Dome is only working because we gave them a battery or something or a component for it to work. Like we gave
so
it to
we're
them in 2019.
so we're Tony Stark. We're Stark Industries.
Yeah, and we don't, and we don't even have one. We don't have a dome. Like that's why he's talking about building a golden dome in the next 5 years. But the technology needed was we gave it to Israel. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, if they pay for it,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why there's only one in the world or however that works, but we don't have a golden dome. We don't have that. But the thing that kind of keeps us cool over here is that
air conditioners.
right. No. I don't believe there's anything Iran has to reach us. But Russia might have something to reach us, you know?
Also, don't we have like ships on the in the oceans on the border just in case?
Yeah,
Because
there
at any time we can get done in. You can get murked, you know.
yeah, but
So
I
it's like
heard that the
to
retaliate
to to oppose that, to defend that, like we have to
yeah.
have our own
Yeah. And I mean I
interception.
yeah, like we don't have a dome, but we have I think there's technology that intercepts missiles or,
Yeah, like they like right, like
yeah.
either missiles or drones. Like we already have. We're obviously got people in place, or just that's what their job is, right? Just in case something pops off. Because we
Yeah.
learned from 9/11, right? I hope they did.
Well, yeah.
I don't know who's the deal. I don't know what the DOD is doing.
But he's probably drinking himself to a stupor. Like this is like real life stuff, and we have a Fox News host in charge of our Defense Department who has substance abuse issues. Like we don't have the best and the brightest right now, and we're about to deal with some of the best and the brightest in the world. Like this is just I don't this is what honestly scared me more than all the racial stuff that was happening that I knew that was coming with this cabinet. It's the foreign affairs, national security, our national security. I've like what? Pete Hegseth? Come on, you guys. Like I don't know. But whatever. I'm praying about it. That's all I can do at this point because ugh, I don't know. There's nothing I could do.
Yeah, I was rooting for RFK Jr., but even like I was listening to like nutritionists
Hmm.
and economists, and he started out as a Democrat,
Right.
and it seems like he's just getting bad information. The only person I think who's competent, who I have faith in, I always roll with her is Tulsi Gabbard because she's always, I think she does tell the truth for the most part, and she has experience, especially military experience, and she's fought for our country. So I feel like her heart's in the right place. I don't think she did a good job at the when she's on at the hearings and stuff. But other than that, like
I mean, I hear
I
you.
think she's on the job. I think she's the only one.
I hear you. But the biggest thing that I don't know, this is what they're reporting. They're saying that she is a agent of Putin. And she has ties with the Syrian Assad, the Syrian president, uh, and that she's basically working on their behalf. And that's why she's telling, well, this is my theory. This is my theory right here. That's why I feel like that's why she's telling Trump that there's no uranium or Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon or isn't close to having a nuclear weapon
Mm.
because she's an agent of Putin. And
It's like all these rumors are like,
but that's what
like
happens when they're
soap
no,
opera shit.
no, but that's what happens
Like
when you have
but like
corrupt
real life
people.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
if everybody's corrupt, you don't know who to believe. And that's
yeah,
literally where we're at right now. Like I was talking with somebody else earlier today, and we were both just like, everybody's eating everybody's face at this point.
yeah.
And this is scary. This is why, like, okay, this is why everyone voting matters. Protests are great. Protests are wonderful. They get people engaged. The people know that they're not alone. It's a great emotional response when you see all those people online. But if you don't have a plan after these protests, if there's no strategy, if you don't go to the polls, nothing is going to happen. There's going to be no long term. There's going to be no change, and there will be no long term change. Like
That's
nothing
why
will.
like you can go ahead.
No,
You're
no, no,
cooking. Go ahead.
no, no,
Oh,
no.
I was gonna say that's why like I don't agree with all the like I fully support the protests that were on Saturday on the 14th of June,
Hmm.
right? And I'm glad it was peaceful, but some knuckleheads, but they got taken care of, right?
Right.
But I don't agree with the blocking traffic and wearing masks and what I'm saying, causing obstruction. Like I don't agree with any of that shit. But if I love the protests that were on Saturday
Yeah.
before what 5 p.m.
Yeah. But that's
Like
the
they
thing.
had the kids were there, the signs were there. They had some had some places had acts, like music acts, and people were talking on stage and stuff like that, and walking
It
on
was
certain
community.
streets.
It was fellowship.
Yeah, so it's yeah, it was.
But there are people out here who are agitating. There are people who are anti-government, anarchists. There's people out here who want to cause problems.
Like
And
professional protesters, professional writers.
yeah, and I mean
Yeah.
and people even say there's like paid, like possibly police officers or I don't know. I don't know. It's just people out here who are trying to cause civil unrest.
Or
And
there's people who are like the Joker who just want to
yeah,
see the cities burn.
right. Exactly. And so I think now that people have gone, there's been so many protests in modern times, and we have social media, like people are seeing that this is what's happening. And I saw some videos where people were telling, even in LA, those protests in LA, there were people who were like trying to start to riot and loot and stuff. And there were people telling them, stop, stop, don't do
Yeah.
that. Don't mess this up for us, because people know that you can actually really impact or affect change with peaceful protests. It's I guess there was like some that same lady Chenoweth. There was a with peaceful protests, it's like 56% effective. And then with violent protests, it was like only 23% effective. So there it's more of a possibility for something to change with peaceful protests. And I think people are knowing this and realizing this now. But there's all different types of people with different levels of knowledge and they're just out here trying to ruin it for everybody. But I think most people understand that these protests need to be peaceful.
Yeah, I'll always remember that there's with the BLM protests slash riots.
Right.
Like there's this woman all in black, and she was spray painting something, and then some black woman were or one black woman was just like, stop that, don't do that. And she was just like, she was trying to be like a white savior or some shit. The woman in all black, but the black woman was like, no, stop that. That's what you're making this protest look bad
Right.
when you destroy shit, spray paint shit, saying fuck the whatever. Like that's not what they're about.
Yeah.
Like I always remember that because it was a white lady in black covered up, and then a black woman was telling her, "Hey, that's not what we're about. This is real shit."
Yeah. Like it's a real thing out here. And even I do have to bring up because there were a lot of videos of this as well where like the protesters were peaceful and then the cops started like agitating the crowd and shooting rubber bullets at them and all kinds of stuff. And I mean it was and they said a lot of people were saying it wasn't curfew yet and they just started turning it up.
But
So
what? But
So
was
they
that
they caused it.
was that
Or they probably
but the context though?
but there could have been an element there. There could have definitely
Yeah.
been an element there who was like turned up as well.
Or there
It
could have been like, or maybe it was curfew and they're just telling people to move, and you're agitating the horses, or you're going against what they're saying, you're obstructing, or you're not following the law, then you got it. That's when the rubber bullets
yeah.
come out.
I think it's reasonable to say that all people were like it's all these all everything you're saying, everything I'm saying is a possibility, you know? So like I think people need to understand that like these protests are the intent for a lot of these protests are to be peaceful, but there's agitators on
Yeah.
from every
But
direction.
there's one thing. It's like I want to believe you. You know, my brothers, when you say that, oh, we didn't do nothing, blah blah blah. But there could be a possibility that you just don't like the cops so much that on your end of it, on your bias end of it, when you were told to move and you don't move, that's when the cops have to act because they're interacting the curfew law that has been enforced. And if you don't abide by that, then
Yeah.
excuse my hands,
Yeah.
then that's what happens. Like the bullets come out, the shields come out, you know what I'm saying? The heavy gear comes out because you're not listening to the law. But if it happened that it was like 4 o'clock and the police were acting up, then yeah, that's not cool. But
Right. And I saw videos of everything that you're saying. So that's why I believe it's all happening. Like I can't say, it no,
yeah, I only can see with what I see. I wasn't there, so I'm not. But I also don't want to go by your words because I don't know who you are. You might hate the cops. You obviously hate the situation that's happening right now, but you
yeah.
just
And
might hate the
then,
cops, and you put it in that context
yeah, with like all
that fits
this,
your narrative.
yeah, yeah. And with all this stuff, I'm really seeing how the media kind of creates a narrative because a lot of the videos that they were
Yeah, they
showing
fearmonger.
in LA,
Hmm.
it was based off of like literally like a 2 mile radius in downtown,
Yes, it happened in downtown LA.
little Tokyo,
And
like the little
yeah,
Tokyo.
well, you're right. And and then the fashion district was cool. I was cool. You know what I'm saying? Pasadena was cool. Like Melrose was cool. Burt, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
that it was literally one part. And
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like I don't I don't know if it was so crazy there that the National Guard had to come out and because like
But it didn't though.
what if the National Guard wasn't there and they just went bananas?
Yeah, but hello, LAPD, the sheriffs, LA County sheriffs, the highway patrol, like LA has law enforcement. Like he didn't need to do that. But see, Trump and them, they were probably watching the same videos that because I hit you up, I hit a couple of my other friends up, and I was like, are you guys okay? Because like the news really made it seem like it was just everywhere and it was just going crazy. And so
Yeah.
he watched the same because Trump, that's
I was gonna say that too. I would say that this motherfucker saw
he
the
watches
same
Fox
shit,
News. Yes.
yeah, and
And
then
he
thought it was like another BLM shit.
right. And so he was like, because I kind of feel him on this. He was probably like, oh, well, if Gavin Newsom and them aren't going to do that, then I'm going to handle it and take care of it. But he watches the news. Like, I mean, at least his first term, it was reported that all he did was watch the news and, all day long. So if he's watching propaganda news, then he's being misinformed. And a lot of his policy is based off of misinformation because he watches Fox News all day long. And it might be different now, I don't know. But he probably saw that and then he was like, oh, well, I'm not gonna have them mess up my nation. And then overrode, or didn't even ask Gavin. He should have asked, at least asked Gavin, but he didn't do that. So that just tells me that he didn't just did whatever he wanted and was gonna like suffer the consequences later. But the man has never suffered any consequences, so why would he stop now? Like he's literally Trump is just kind of out of control. And a person who's never been gotten spankings, think how out of control you are. Think about it like that. Trump is out of control. And he's never been reprimanded, he's never received consequences ever. He's always gotten away with everything in his whole life. So we're in trouble. Molly, we in danger, girl. Molly, we are in danger. Like I want him to be impeached and removed. I do. Like this is like the last straws.
Strauss is
I don't care. It's like he's been given so many chances and this is it. Like literally there's no more. Like there's no more.
so if he doesn't take us to war, how would you feel about it about him? Because we're filming on a Wednesday, so we don't know what's happening.
I know on Saturday.
So
I hope they
if he
talk him
doesn't,
down. No,
yeah, if he ta-
he still needs to go because I'm still upset about the tariffs. I'm still upset about what he's doing, how he's dealing with our immigrants in America. Um, like there's so many levels of things I just don't approve
is there
of.
a possibility that
He's corrupt. That's it.
sure he did he I guess push forward the deportation thing, but he does he have like there's somebody who's controlling ICE, right? That person needs to be
Well, that's Christy Nome. She's the Homeland Security lady or person.
no, but there's somebody like under her, right? Because she can't oversee all the different ICE
Well, isn't it?
factions in each city.
It's that czar guy. I mean, there's different deputies, and I'm sure, deputies and chiefs of staffs or whatever. But there's another guy. He's like the czar, the border czar.
Not Homan, not like somebody
Holman.
under Homan,
Uh,
because these guys are because Noam and Homan are public figures. Like there's somebody else
well, I'm sure there is,
because I feel like
but they're not the spokesperson, you know? They're not the leader of it. So they're the ones that's doing the day-to-day operations. Yeah, there's definitely somebody
yeah,
that
there's that person is kind of maybe overstepping.
Like whoever's in charge of
But
ICE. Oh, well, yeah, let me see if I could pull that up real quick from Simpson. Who is in charge of the day-to-day operations for ICE? Not Christy Nome, not Holman, but who's the day-to-day person who's calling the shots all over the nation? Okay, so Todd Lyons, he serves as the acting director of ICE, managing the agency's day-to-day operations across both major branches.
because I
He,
want to say like they're not going into place like most of the places I've seen, like when I watch, they have warrants. There's a reason why, uh, because they know that there's going to be illegals there, so that's why they go. So they'll go to the factories, to Walmart, to Home Depot,
they go to the
because they
courthouses.
yeah. So it's like but they know that these people are going to be there, and there has to be a reason why these particular people are getting snatched up, other than they're just illegal or they didn't get passed through in the court. So it's like bye, because it's way too nitpicky. Like why are you going to the courthouses?
Because they know that those people are coming in there for their court date and they're getting rid of
I
them.
know,
Like,
but it's like those few people. It's different than going to the factories, right, or Home Depot, because it's like a cluster. It's like they're picking up these people like
because
for like there has to be like a deeper reason, no?
they're getting a quota, they have to meet a quota. Like, there's something Steve Miller said they have to get like 3,000 people a day. And I believe, I don't know, don't quote me on this
Like
part.
nationwide.
Yeah, like they have a, well, I don't know. They're trying to ramp.
Is it like
I don't know. Like, I don't know.
west, middle, and east? That's three. That's
Yeah.
like
Maybe, yeah,
nine
maybe,
thousand
yeah, maybe it's 3,000 a day. That's the quota. Yeah, they said 3,000 a day. So that's the nation, I guess.
because Trump wants to deport more than Obama.
Yeah, that's my theory. That's what I believe as well.
He's like, oh,
He
I'm
wants to
I'm
be
going
the
to beat all the
deporter.
other presidents,
Yeah, because
the deporter
Obama
king.
is actually the deporter in chief. Like, he holds that
Yeah,
title. So, and you know, and
and he
Trump,
did it smooth and quiet
yeah, and his first administration, or when he came, he wanted to he like reversed everything Obama did. So he's trying to
I
get
got the
this
hiccups.
too.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, you're fine. Like, he's trying to get this too.
So
So
so why is it when Obama did it, it was okay, but then Trump does it?
because he's gave people due process. He's not just
He
kidnapping
gave
people.
all those millions of people due process
Yes, they had court dates and they were found that they should not be here. That's the difference. That's the only difference. He wasn't arresting people with masks and kidnapping them with unmarked
Can you
clothes.
look that up right now so I can have a free conscience?
Did I've already looked this up before. Did
Wait,
Obama
wait, first ask how many he deported first.
he deported like 2 million.
No, is that what it says?
Well, I know, but I'll ask. How many people did Obama deport?
They had to say during this administration, or it doesn't matter.
Oh, we'll see. Mine's pretty, Simpson's is pretty smart. He gets me.
He gets it. He gets you
Here's a clear breakdown of Obama era deportations. Whoo, whoo. Deportation numbers under Obama. Nearly 3 million non-citizens were formally removed, deported during Barack Obama's two presidential terms, 2009 to 2016, the highest total in U.S. history. In
you
the,
try, so you're telling me 3 million people had due process?
yep.
Okay, ask.
Did Obama give these 3 million people due process and have their court dates? Or did he kidnap them? The vast majority of the 3 million people deported under President Obama were processed through legal procedures, but the kind of process they received varied widely based on the circumstances of their entry, criminal record, and location of apprehension. Here's a breakdown. Many did receive court hearings due process. Thousands of immigrants, especially those seeking asylum or those not caught at the border, had immigration court hearings before a judge ruled on their deportation. These individuals were often detained or released under supervision while awaiting hearings. Many were deported without seeing a judge. Fast track deportations, also called expedited removals, were used extensively under Obama, especially for people caught at or near the border.
That sounds,
That's
yeah,
different. Those with
okay.
those with prior deportation orders, individuals with certain criminal records. That's exactly what I mean. That's there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so if Trump is
That's
doing that,
different. That's different.
but Trump
No,
is doing that same thing, no?
no, Trump is
How
getting
do
rid
you
of
know that though? How do you know that?
because it's being reported. Like it's just being reported by Associated Press, Reuters, like all the fact-based center.
All the ones that don't like Trump.
It's not that they don't, they can't. They're journalistic sources that have to report objectively. Like they're not biased. But Trump, what Trump isn't doing, because every Trump is having ICE people go to their immigration dates, like when they have court dates to go see the judge, they're like taking people, apprehending people at that time. And they're just rounding people up. And they're even rounding up US citizens. And that's why a lot of people, after they get deported to the detainment center in New Orleans, they get released like a couple months later, like, oh, wow, yeah, he's not, he is a citizen. Oh, he is a US citizen. So that's the problem. They're not doing anything in order. Like you have to do things in order. Like if
That's what
Trump
I'm saying. Like, is that Trump or is that like the guy like who used
Trump,
to,
okay,
you know what I mean?
Trump is the president.
I know,
He,
but he's just like saying, okay, this is what I want to happen. It's happening, but then the people lower than him aren't following protocol or they're not following the due process.
well,
They're just
yeah,
picking anybody up.
right, and that's
But
because of white
Trump can't like,
nationalists. Steve Miller. Steve Miller is calling a lot of those shots,
mm,
and he's the one that's coming up talking about, oh, we got to ramp up. We have to get out 3,000 people a day, and Trump is actually knowing about this because he wants them to ramp things up as well. So, I mean, no, Trump is not involved in the day-to-day operations, but this is on his platform, immigration deportation, mass deportations. So he's in charge. He's responsible.
yeah, I'm not cool on the court date, the court because they're doing everything legally. Like
Right, because the
it'd
way
be different. It'd be different if like they looked into the person's background and were like, okay, this guy's a criminal. He's not gonna have his fair. His
mm,
we're gonna catch him as soon as they say denied.
okay, this is the cold part about that. There's not enough criminals that are immigrants here that have violent cases. So that's why they have to start doing what they're doing now because there aren't that many. Like they
But
campaigned on, oh, there's all these violent immigrants here raping us and da da da. Da.
uh,
There's none left.
well, they're getting those people out. Like
They're already gone. So
of
they don't
course,
have
yeah.
they've already did that.
But
So
the if you're illegal here illegally, then
but
that's a criminal offense.
okay, but you're not necessarily okay, this is the thing. If you're here and they get our like we talked about this already, our immigration system is broken. So there's people who've crossed the border through
Mm,
asylum or refugee status. Refugee's a little different, but asylum is if you make it to the border.
mm.
During Biden and even like some of the Bush era presidents, if people made it to the border our immigration laws allowed them to come in. They gave them a court date and was like, Sometimes the court dates were in a couple weeks, sometimes the court dates were like monthly or yearly or like 7 years down the line. So a lot of those people are waiting on their court dates. And so that's what's happening. These people are waiting on their court dates and they're taking them.
Okay, if that is the case, yeah, that is wrong. Obviously, that's wrong because you have a court date and waiting.
That's how they
No,
know they're at the courts. That's how they know they're at the courts. But if
but
they and they don't even allow them to, go like see, I don't know if they're apprehending them before they go into the courtroom or after they come out. Cause like that's a thing too. It's like, okay, if you're just snatching up before, like that's extra wrong
yeah, that's crazy.
because they're trying to go to their court date and find out if they can stay or go. But then if you're apprehending them after just right after the fact, like you're not gonna give them a second to get their little suitcase together and be like, oh, you know, I have to. The judge ruled that
Well,
I
who's to
can no
say that
longer
they
be there.
who's to say that they didn't? They're just maybe. What if that's just for optics?
Oh, that's wrong optics. I didn't see nobody with a suitcase. They're not allowing people to say goodbye to their families. They're just like, "Oh, the judge ruled you can't be here."
Who's to say that they're not though?
I mean, what they're showing us on TV and why there's millions of
Right.
people on the street. There's millions in the people in the streets that are family members of immigrants who parents were stolen at a graduation or at a like it's just not proper. Like you're traumatized. Like if you guys are so pro-life, you're like really traumatizing kids if you're like snatching their parents at their graduation, a kid's graduation, you know? Like I'm sure like this is just like the way that he's going about it is absolutely inhumane. It's not Christian like because it's their big Christians, Mr. Trump Bible. Like it's completely wrong. Like it's completely immoral. There's no way around this. And that's why millions of people are in the streets and that's why millions more will get out into the streets.
But do you think our deportation laws need fixing?
Yes, absolutely. Everybody says that. Like when people come to the border, don't even let them in. Don't even give them hope at this point. You know what I mean? If we can't handle it properly, don't allow them to live here for 20 years and then, now we have a new president who's like kidnapping people. Like that's absolutely wrong. Because like other countries, they don't allow people in. Like some people do, but most people they're like, okay, well, here's your court date. Come back, but you can't come in. Like different countries are, everybody's pretty strict, but America, what makes America great is that we allowed this was like a safe haven for everyone. And
Yeah,
this was
if you did it
Republican.
legally.
Yes, but the same asylum situations. Bush was very much like that. Bush allowed the first Bush, he let a lot of immigrants in. Like it was like a Republicans wanted immigrants here for a minute.
Yeah.
Now it's like I don't know, just because Biden let, I guess, a lot of people in because there was
Hmm.
like civil unrest in other countries all over the world and people were trying to get here and Biden was like, "Hey, come on in." So people came, which was not the best thing if we don't have America isn't on the struggle bus right now. Like the cost of living, like economically, like we're not cool. So I don't know. Like there's a lot of things that needed to be fixed here. And I don't know why. I don't think people want to come here. Like they need to know. Like don't come here right now. It's not cool.
I think they already know that.
Yeah, like the tourism's down, like everything. Like America is not the place to be. Like it's America's home. America is great. I want it to be great again or back to where it was. I just want it back to where it was. Like
We hating on the immigrants and the Jews out here. We're hating on the gay people, the trans people.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
don't come here, y'all. Like
all the progress that we've made is definitely being reversed. Like they're about to I heard something crazy the other day where I don't know. I almost feel like they were gonna like jail people who don't want to have kids. Did you hear that?
Yeah, but it wasn't that. It was
And it was that, dude. And they're also
well,
paying
look it up
people.
then. Ask Simpson.
Let's see. Um,
It was a proposal. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, it was a bill. Who proposed the bill that they were gonna like jail people who don't want to have kids? Like it's crazy that I even have to ask this. You know what I mean? Like what? Like what? This is not America. Like that's what people are saying. Like what's happening right now? This is not America. And like people really do just want to be at brunch. They want to go back to watching their reality TV shows. Like people don't want to have to protest on the weekends. Like this is not what like Americans are so basic. Sorry guys, y'all a little basic. Oh, wow. So you're likely referring to the tongue-in-cheek bill titled The Contraception Begins at Erection Act. Oh wait, no. This isn't what I was talking about. This is something else crazy. But this is from Senator Bradford Blackman from Mississippi. This is regarding you men. Core idea imposes legal penalties, fines for men who ejaculate without intent to impregnate, with penalties escalating up to $10,000 for repeat offenses. So how are they going to know that you guys are masturbating?
Yeah, like each nut is worth 10 G's.
That's crazy.
I owe him
Oh, wait.
accountability.
No, it died in committee February 4th. Good thing to you guys.
Yeah, I mean they can put out any stupid bill they want. It has to be passed.
Right. But
But I'm
even
glad. But
just
I am
the
glad they put that out. That it is public domain
what?
because I'm interested to hear all the bills.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just all these crazy thoughts, people with all their, I don't know, agendas that they want.
Yeah,
So I don't know. We're living in a world with a lot of opinions and ideas and thoughts that try to make this place better for them
I
and
mean
their
they
families.
already have the agenda that kids can differentiate if they want to be boys or girls. We already have the agenda of the non-binary because of how they feel. So it's basically you can choose your gender or your sex on how you feel, and we all have to abide by it or we get canceled. So, and that was under Biden. So now you have the opposite going on, and
Right.
and
Well, Matt,
I'm glad cancel culture is dying, but I'm also glad that we don't we're not like babying these like ideals, especially when it comes to kids and sex. That was crazy. That's insane.
yeah. Well, I do have a lot to say about that, but I think we're gonna maybe that'll be our next show. The transgender binary discussions or something about that. Are we gonna do that? We'll see.
you,
We'll see, guys. We'll see.
you you just like proposed two different episodes on this podcast.
But you know what's crazy is like when I've been editing these, like usually the last topic turns out to be our next show. Like that's kind of one of those like weird coincidence type of things.
Like a segue.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's like it's not planned, but it just kind of comes out and it's like, oh, okay, well, that's our next show. That's what we should talk about. That's what we should address. So, whoop whoop. Anything else?
My points were kind of made,
All right, I
kind
know.
of.
I think so too. I'm done. Like, I don't know. This is
So
America. We're a
so protest.
republic, not kings.
Oh, yeah, we're not kings. Even your king said he's not a king, even though you might think that he does king things. Protests are good. I do think, like you brought up earlier, like they bring people together. I do like that. But then you're always going to have bad actors who want to like just cause chaos. All the jokers out there,
Yeah.
and those guys are assholes, and you guys are dicks, and karma's gonna get you. But other than that, like I do think protests are potent and important to get your to get people's point across who all have the same mind.
Yeah.
Uh, thank
Yeah. Nope. And that's pretty much all I have to say too, other than after the protesting, there has to be a strategy to keep it in place. And the biggest tool that we have in a democracy, as long as we can still vote, as long as an authoritarian governor or king doesn't take away our voting rights, because that's what they do. Autocrats, they fix elections and rig elections. So as long as we can still vote in this country and exercise our right to vote, we need to do that because that's why they try to suppress our vote so much. They work so hard to suppress our vote because it's powerful and it does work. We have to elect people from the local, state, and federal level. That's like the biggest things that we need to
But
do.
other than that, that aristocrat shit, that king shit will never happen here because we have live in a democracy, and plus we will raise a stink about it. Plus we have people in office in the Congress and Senate and Republican and Democrat who won't allow that to happen.
Let's
So there's
let's
no Handmaid's Tales here. There's none of that drama shit. It'll never happen.
this is what he says, you guys, and this is what we've thought, and we never thought we'd be here, and we're here. So I don't know. We'll see. But I hope you're right. I really do. Till next time.
Watch Strange Days.
Okay, I don't know what that is, but I'll watch it. Bye.